It's 5 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world.
Our broadcasting.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
Our broadcast link.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, Mr. Announcer Guy, you're half right. Once again, Jerry is out and about. She is hanging out with our granddaughter, Nora, as Nora celebrates birthday number, 4. Birthday number 4. Happy 4th birthday to Nora Darlak, and Grandma and Grandpa loves you a lot. That's why Grandma is there, but I am here holding down the fort this afternoon because we have a perfect show for you today lined up, and that is the fact that we are going to be having Mr. Stephen Gerard, a.k.a. Steve Hayest, from The Beat 3.0. He's going to be joining us in a little bit, and we're glad that you guys decided to join us here right now for the Sunday afternoon edition of Polkas After Dark. This is where all the crazy people meet on the weekend to have fun, and if you're crazy just like us, well then guess what? You've come to the right place. Hey, we're going to go back a few years. Here's The Beat. Here's Michael Costa's band, The Beat, and here's one called The Flame.
As I stand here next to you,
Getting things off and running this Sunday afternoon. That's a tune by The Beat. Hey, why don't we keep things just moving right along? Here's The Beat 3.0 featured on the Greatest Hits and the Misses recording. Here's one called Everybody's Dancing Tonight.
Everybody's dancing tonight. Polka music fills the air, it sounds so right. And all our friends are here, they have come from far and near. That's why everybody's dancing tonight. Whoa, everybody's dancing tonight. Polka bands upon the stage under the light. When you dance around the floor, raise your hands and shout for more, because everybody's dancing tonight. Everybody's dancing, don't you know? At a festival we let the good times roll. Come on, hurry, don't be late, 'cause the music starts at 8. You'll see everybody dancing tonight. Whoa, everybody's dancing, you see, dancing to their favorite Polish melody. Many bands have learned to play that post-metal high school way. That's why everybody's dancing tonight. Everybody's dancing for fun, and this polka festival is #1. All the bands have traveled far. If you meet us at the bar, tell them everybody's dancing tonight. Whoa, everybody's dancing tonight, dancing to the beat that used to be limelight. How we love to play for you, and we hope you love us too. We'll keep everybody dancing tonight.
Hey, that's truly one of our favorite bands today, we've got to say. I know we're prejudiced and everything like that, but The Beat 3.0 just rocks at every place they go. Hey, that rhymes. Hey, we want to say hello to some of the folks in our chat rooms. First of all, hello to Michael and Veronica Costa. Welcome to Polkas After Dark. Also, we're going to say hi to CJ Jadosh. He's here along with Jennifer, and hopefully Melissa is tuned in. We're going to say hi to Mr. Musical Mark Swoger and also Maria A. Blasting. We've also got Don and Marina Kozak here with us. Gosh, a whole bunch of people just tuning in. We are so happy to see you guys, and thank you once again so very much for joining us, not only today but also last evening, as we paid tribute to Mr. Lenny Kopka, one of the finest bass players, one of the finest musicians, and also one of the finest personalities that you could ever meet, taken from us way too soon. We celebrated him last evening, and we thank everybody for stopping by, joining us, and also we want to thank the family for the gracious, kind words. Tracy, of course, Tracy Meyer had posted something just a few hours ago. We also heard from Diane Kopka, and again, we are so saddened to hear, but you know what? Lenny's having a blast up there, and that's all that matters. Hey, we're going to say hi to brother Tom Hoke down in Uniontown, PA. Let's see who else is here. How's about, let's see. We're going to say hi to Chris Tansky, Buffalo Polka Booster president. She got a chance to take a ride out there with, it was Pat, Kathy, and I think Marcia. They all took a ride out to see Lenny Gomolka yesterday in Cleveland, Ohio area, Parma. and I guess they had a great time. Didn't have such a great time driving back home in that nasty weather, but we're glad you guys made it home safe and sound. That, of course, is part of the Buffalo Polka Boosters, those folks. Hey, again, we do want to thank you so much for joining us today, because in just a few minutes, we're going to be making a call to Mr. Stephen Gerard, a.k.a. Steve Hayest, trumpet player extraordinaire from The Beat. And how about we change a little bit of the music around and let's get a song by Chi-Town Express. Here's one called Breakfast Polka. Hey, good afternoon to Donna Zielinski, also to Mom Teresa, and of course daughter Sarah up there in Niagara Falls.
Przychodzi Asi do Kadziabary, kupuje 4 screwdrivery. Jedna dla Zosi, druga dla Mari, ostatnie 2 dla Basi i Hani. Dla Jasia mają razem miłości, jedna całuje, druga się złości. Trzecia stoi i mówi, oj mój drogi, czwarta łapie Jasia za nogi. Jasia mają razem miłości, jedna całuje, druga się złości. Trzecia stoi i mówi, oj mój drogi, czwarta łapie Jasia za nogi. Jasiu się smuci, bo nie wie co zrobić, szuka pieniędzy i z bary wychodzi. Wsiada do kary i szuka sklep, żeby kupić jajka, kartofle i chleb.
Oh yeah, changing it around a little bit as we play a couple of different songs here. That's Chi-Town Express with a little bit of the Breakfast Polka. Hey guys, gals, you're probably noticing in the chat room that Mr. Dan Novak, brother Dan, down in New Mexico, is asking for prayers for Mom, and that of course is Jerry's mom as well. And she's not doing that greatly right now, and she is on her way to the hospital, and I think Jerry is going to take a chance, take some time off and take a flight out tomorrow afternoon to go down and be with Mom and the family, and hopefully Mom is going to be turning around and getting out of there kind of quickly. But we do thank you guys for all the prayers. Hey, we're going to also say hello to Puppy Dog Nate. Forgot that Maria blasting. So we're going to send it out to Puppy Dog Nate as well. Let's see, gosh, who else do we have here? We've got Mr. Chris Curtis. We want to say hello to you, Joanne Renee. Welcome once again to Polkas After Dark. Alice Fischler. We do want to say hi to you and all the folks here tuned in to Polkas After Dark. And again, we can't thank you guys enough for all the prayers that are coming. And we're going to play a song right now by the Canadian Fiddlesticks. Here's one called Maple Sugar. Also, a big good afternoon to Mr. Andy Haverlick. Welcome. We haven't seen you in a while, Andy. Michelle Szymanski. Welcome to Polkas After Dark. You and Rose. Also to Eric and Billy Joe. Some fun stuff coming your way on a Sunday afternoon, Polkas After Dark. Hey, in just a few more minutes, we're going to be making a call out to Ohio Way to get a chance to chat with Mr. Steven Gerard, a.k.a. Steve Hayest from The Beat 3.0. We've got a bunch more songs that we're going to be playing for you by The Beat throughout the afternoon, but we want to say a good afternoon to Mr. Kevin Pilarski. Kevin, welcome to Polkas After Dark. Thank you so much for tuning us in this afternoon. Also, we want to say a good afternoon to Mr. Ray Bajewick Jr., who's tuned in from the Cleveland, Ohio area. Also to Mr. Brian Kopka out there in Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. Looks like Georgianne Havey is here with us as well. And we do want to make mention of all the different events that are going to be coming up for Dingus Day this year. You're seeing a whole bunch of them on the screen right now, and as we do that, we're going to change the tempo around right now, and we're going to get a tune by a gal that's going to be joining us next weekend for an interview live and in person on Sunday afternoon, and we're talking of Dawn Suhan Rogers. Let's feature Dawn on the vocal right now. Here's one called The Shining Moon Waltz. Zaświeć miesiączku.
Świeci słoneczko w okno moje, świeci słoneczko w okno moje. Zasmuciło się, zasmuciło się, zasmuciło się serce moje. Zasmuciło się, zasmuciło się,
Hey, that's Dawn Suhan Rogers, and she's going to be joining us next week, Sunday, for an interview live. She, of course, is going to be coming to us live and direct from Utah, and we can't wait to get a chance to chat with her and find out everything that she's been up to. Hey, how about a little bit of D Street with a tune called On My Wedding Polka?
Śpiewam se wesoło, hej, ładna na nocy. Śpiewam se wesoło, hej, ładna na nocy. Będzie po wszystkiemu, godzinie po północy. Będzie po wszystkiemu, godzinie po północy. Twojego niewroczka, hej, zagraj i dobrany. Twojego niewroczka, hej, zagraj i dobrany. Będzie weselisku, hej, na te piękneskami. Będzie weselisku, hej, na te piękneskami. Muzyka będzie grać, muzyka będzie śpiewać. Muzyka będzie grać, muzyka będzie śpiewać. I będzie pieniążki, hej, wody nie wybierać. I będzie pieniążki, hej, wody nie wybierać. Nie piero pieniądze, hej, żeby i dobrali. Nie piero pieniądze, hej, żeby i dobrali. Żeby na czenoce sobie potańcowali. Żeby na czenoce sobie potańcowali.
Hey, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark, a Sunday afternoon edition. We are talking with Mr. Stephen Gerard, but you're not going to hear him just yet because we've got another song that we want to play. Here's one off of the Beats 3.0. Here's one called Jealous Girl Polka.
Zazdrosna dziewczyna ładnie jest chowana. Pokazuje jej nóżki i ładne kolana. Zazdrosna dziewczyna chłopca pocałuje. Jednego kochała, drugi szykuje się. Hej, ale chłopaki grają do góry, wszyscy do tańca. Hopa! Zazdrosna dziewczyna zawsze malowana. Płacili i chłopca zawsze radowana. Zazdrosna dziewczyna włosy ma w porządku, ale ty wiesz, Żebrak na czas nigdy w domu.
You got it. That's right. That is the Beat 3.0 off of the Mrs. Greatest Hits and the Mrs. recording. Hey, we are fortunate enough to have, we save the best for last, I gotta say, because this is the final member of the Beat that we have not had the opportunity to chat with as of yet, but we're going to be talking with him live right now as we bring him to the microphone, Mr. Steve Hayest. Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, Robin, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful, and thank you so much for asking. And I want to, first of all, thank you so very much for taking the time on a Sunday afternoon to join Polkas After Dark and get a chance to chat a little bit about what you've done over your career here. And it started somewhat at an early age there, didn't it, Mr. Hayest?
Well, not as early as most. I mean, I think the kids in the band got started a lot earlier than I did. I think I was 17. It was probably my senior year in high school.
Oh, wow.
When my mom and dad actually convinced me to go to a practice for Eddie Petonietz and the Polkateers back in like 1983, 84, I think it was.
Oh, geez.
So that was my first time.
Now, so how old were you when you heard your first polka, though?
Oh, that was probably 2 or 3. I mean, they listened to polkas every day. Sunday mornings, the polka shows are always on. So they were always playing something at the house as far as polkas were concerned. So I heard them from a very young age.
Now, you mentioned Eddie Petonietz.
Yep.
And let's see, are you originally from Ohio or are you originally from New Jersey? I'm a little confused here, buddy. Help me out.
Yeah, Parma, Ohio, born and raised.
Parma, Ohio. Okay.
So, a little south of Cleveland.
Gotcha. Okay, and let's find out a little bit about the instrumentation. What do you play besides trumpet? You play other instruments, don't you?
I play a heck of a tambourine. Come on. Don't you seen us live? Come on.
Do you play anything else, Steve?
No, it's funny you ask. I mean, I went to school, honestly, to be a music teacher. And so when I was there at Bowling Green, I did have to learn how to play every instrument. But, I didn't stay with teaching. I left, Ohio, and when I went out to New Jersey, I just had to find a job. So I wasn't really thinking about getting into teaching at that point. I just started working, found a job, and then never looked back. But I think the one time it was Limelight, and we were playing more of the rock and roll after the polkas had kind of died down for Limelight. And I said to Mike, Mike, why don't we get together and you can teach me a little bit of rhythm guitar or something like that, so I can at least do something on stage. He goes, well, you are doing something. You're singing, you're playing congas, You're playing a cowbell, you're playing a tambourine. So I guess I'm a percussionist too at heart.
That's perfect because you've got the rhythm. You definitely, and I'm going to be jumping all over the place here, but you and Mr. Costa have been playing together for how many years now, Steve?
Longer than I've been married. So I actually met Tina in, I don't want to say it was probably 86 or 87.
Oh, wow.
I believe it was at, I want to say, probably Wildwood,
New Jersey.
And I because 84 was the year that Face the Music and TBC's Energy albums came out.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was just into my second year of playing in 1984. So that's kind of where I got my first taste of the talents of Mike.
Oh, wow.
I was listening to that recording.
I have to compliment you, as I always do. Both you and Michael have a very unique style of playing trumpet. I have talked to a lot of other musicians standing in front of the band, as Jerry and I do all the time. I'm usually drooling. I have a paper towel that I'm wiping my mouth as I'm salivating all over the place. But you guys have a unique marriage in trumpet playing with all of your triplets and everything that you guys do. It's almost like you read each other's minds, and that's why I was asking, how long have you two really been playing together? So you're talking over 20 years, 25 plus years.
Oh, 33.
33 years.
Yeah, 33 years, because I'll be married 34 in September. So, like I said, we've actually been playing horn together longer than I've been married.
Wow, unbelievable. And you guys, I know you have some cheat sheets up in front of you, but usually you don't really have to reference those because, again, you've been playing together for so long that you kind of read each other's minds, and it just comes out naturally.
Well, for the most part, from the start, really, the only thing that was ever in Mike's book was the lead part on one side and the vocals and the words on the other page. That was it. He never had his harmony parts written out.
Really?
So it was just the lead part that was there, and that's what I was told. First day that we had a practice before we sat down for my first gig, which was, I think, Port Washington, New York, was on a Sunday, I believe. And we went to his place, his and Ronnie's condo out in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
On a Friday night. We got up Saturday morning, went into one of his bedrooms, and we sat there for 8 hours with the book in front of us. And he says, okay, you're in a band now. Your job is to play lead horn and sing harmony to everything that I sing. And I said, yes, sir. And we started from page 1, and we went through the whole book that day. And then played the gig the next day.
Oh, man, your lips had to have been falling off. 8 hours of practicing, holy smokes, and then playing a gig on top of it the next day.
Well, that's when I could actually play, was back then.
You still can, buddy. Trust me when I say that. You still can. I love you guys. I love the band 3.0, but let's go back a few years. With the Beat, the very first round of the Beat, who were the players?
Well, myself and Mike, and then Donnie Tomko on drums.
Awesome.
And Joe Juba on bass.
Awesome.
And then Bobby Szymanski was playing accordion, and then Al was playing accordion and concertina.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, Bobby Szymanski tunes us in every once in a while when he can, and he's another guy that we got to get on here just to chat about old times and see you know, what he's been up to over the years. Okay, now that was the first version, and again, you know, Donnie Tomko, I've always idolized him. I've loved watching him play. Very unique, all the drummers that have played with a Beat. But Joe Juba, let's take a step back and talk about that animal on stage. I mean, between him and Donnie Tomko, here again, I just talked about you and Michael reading each other's minds. Donnie and Joe were just creative in their own minds, and it was on stage that they made a lot of their stuff happen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because, again, we, you know, back in the day when you had time to get together and practice was one thing, but, you know, we did more of that when we were actually playing pop than we did with playing polkas.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of, you know, you're with somebody for so long that you just start to, like you had said earlier, you start to think alike, you know?
Yeah.
You know what one guy's going to do. And I could actually, like, be on stage and playing something on a riff, and I'd be playing the lead part, and I would come to a turn, and if I wanted to take the turn and run the turn all the way through back into the, you know, to the top of the riff, all I would have to do would be to start bobbing my horn bell up and down, and Mike just knew, okay, just keep going, and he knew to just follow, and he was right there with me.
Holy
right back
smokes.
into the top of the next riff. So just little subtle signs like that, you know, and I'm sure rhythm sections do the same thing, you know.
Oh, sure. How about the Beat 2.0? What was the second version of the Beat that you remember
This
with
is
the guys?
Now, isn't it? Well, me and Mike, of course. Donnie was in it for a while. Al did not come back. We had Dave Walter was playing accordion with us.
Right.
And we didn't really have a sixth guy at the time, and Eddie Barastecki was playing bass.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the 2.0 version. And I'm trying to think what we might have picked up. We picked up a couple fill-in concertina players
along
after
the way.
a while, you know, like Pete Dardzinski would come in every once in a while.
Sure.
You know, we used Al a couple times with Dave, But having two accordions kind of wasn't our thing. We wanted to have the concertina in there as well. So most of the time, it went back to like the original Magitones. The Magitones were 5-piece.
Yeah.
It was 2 horns, drums, bass, and an accordion player. So that's the way we kind of kept that one.
And the
for the most part.
the Magitones were comprised of who?
Magitones were Mike Leomowitz, Mark Pishko, Eddie Barastecki, and Pete Chacho.
Pete Chacho, that's right, too. We're going to be talking to Pete in the not too distant future on an upcoming show. But man, you're bringing these memories back. And these are the bands that I used to hear when I was traveling around with the Sounds and Trill Tones. And holy smokes. Hey, so the very first recording that you did was with who? What band?
Toledo Polka Motion.
Oh, that's right. Holy smokes, I almost forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was 84, 85 maybe, was their album Join the Fun.
Yeah.
I did that recording with them, and then a few years later we did that recording Polka Heaven 87.
Oh, wow.
So that was the second one that I did with them. And then I left the band and they became famous.
Hey, so now and like I said, I'm going to be bouncing all over the place because my ADD kicks in all the time, especially on a Sunday when I'm talking to musicians. But how about recording sessions? Tell us about some of the places that you've recorded.
Well, actually, Join the Fun was out in Jersey. It was at Bernie Goydish's recording studio, Le Mans.
Ooh.
So that was where I did that one. Then we did Polka Heaven 87 was just a small studio in Toledo. It was kind of similar to what Mike did with the last 2 recordings with the Beat. We went to a studio where they'd never recorded polkas before. Really? So it was kind of different. But again, I was still green and wet behind the ears at that point. So
wow.
I wasn't really in the studio other than when I cut my parts. I went in, said, okay, what do I got to do? All right, here, did that, played my part, got done with the song, went to the next one, got done, left the studio. So
wow.
Those were a little bit more like, okay, I'm here to do a job, just got in there and do it. But with Mike, when we got into the studio to do the ones we did with the Beat, it was a little bit more involved. I stuck around because I was doing a lot more vocals and things like that. I never really sang a whole lot as far as like lead parts or harmony parts with TPM. So with Mike, he's like, yep, here you go. You got to sing your harmonies. So get in there and do it. So I was there a little bit more involved with his recordings.
With the Beat, how did the band get their name?
That's a real good question. From what I remember, I think Mike was kicking it around. And he'll correct me if I'm wrong when next time you see him, but I think he took it from Donnie is what I remember. I believe was the reason, because Donnie was also he was always so on top of it. You know what I mean? He was steady as a rock, and he just it's like you need that beat there all the time. People are dancing, you need that beat right there. So. I think that's how it came about.
Wow.
That he took it from, hey, this guy is the beat. He's what we're following. So I think that's how it all came about. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, though.
And I'm sure he will, because he's tuned in with Veronica over on YouTube. They're catching.
They're
catching all of this. Yeah, we've got. Let's see here. We've got Al Yash here with us.
Oh yeah.
Seabass. It looks like Mike Pukowski, Mr. Yash. Everybody is here, and we love having. The public here, especially during these interviews, because they love hearing all the different things that the musicians, you remember when we first started this broadcast out, we went through practically, almost every band leader. And after a while, Jerry had said, well, why don't we talk to some of the guys that, perform on the stage that are next to the leaders or behind the leaders? And I said, that's a great idea, honey. I'm glad I thought of it. And that's when we decided to, our very first was, Mike Stupinski and Whitey Rignetz. Because, of course, we couldn't interview Marion. We would have loved to have, but that would have been huge in itself. But, we were talking with those guys, and then that kind of took off, and people said, hey, that's really nice that we're able to find out what these guys did in the background. And that's what really got us moving on a lot of the sidemen now. And it's just been something phenomenal for us. We've been very fortunate. Everybody kind of plays along, so it's nice. We've never had anybody that we had to force things out of. I mean, everybody just, the conversations just flow. They really do. Hey, do you have a personal favorite genre of music that you listen to when you're not listening to polkas, Steve?
For the most part, classic rock. It's what I've always enjoyed, back as a kid, just listening to, Led Zeppelin and going a little further off and listening to Kiss and bands like that from the 70s. But I would also listen to, Earth, Wind and Fire. I'd listen to the Kool and the Gang because I like listening to the horn sections.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So got into stuff like that. But the newer stuff, you can keep that stuff. I'll stick with the classics.
Yeah, most definitely. That's awesome. The places that you've recorded, you did mention Bernie Goydish's Le Mans. Where else have you stepped into a studio at?
Well, everything. Yeah, inside a studio, like I said, other than Le Mans and the other studio that we did with TPM, Mike's recordings. We had done. The first two beat recordings were done at people's houses, like we did at Al's house. We probably recorded some of the stuff at Mike's house.
Okay.
Because Hank Bruzevich recorded the band, so he was remote. So he would go there and set up stuff at anybody's house.
Oh, yeah.
And would do the recordings there. So then really afterwards, the only other studio we went to was Guy's studio, who did the last two recordings, The Reason and The Hits and the Misses.
Yeah. And those are two
and that was
fantastic
that was at
recordings.
His house. So, it was a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this. Put your thinking cap on. Do you have a favorite band that you never performed with or played in, but have always wanted to? Past or present? And I got to tell you, it doesn't have to be a polka band.
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Captain Geach. Okay, stop. Are you telling me something serious here, or never heard of them at all? I don't think I have any of their recordings.
They were one-hit wonders.
But they were a band. Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
I have never heard them before. What did they record? What was their one-hit wonder?
What was the song? It was I can't think of it right now. No, actually, I'm kind of joking with you because that was a Tom Hanks movie. If you remember the band called The Wonders, the movie. If you've never seen it, you got to watch it.
No, I don't think I have, and I love Tom Hanks.
The song was the title of the album, That Thing You Do.
Okay.
So if you've never seen the movie, you got to watch it. It's a great movie. Great songs in it. Yeah. But no, a band from the past that I probably would have loved to have played with, always wanted to play with, and then in the end actually had an opportunity and turned them down, was Frank Lischka and TBC.
Wow.
So again, when I came out, and was starting to play, like I said before, with Face the Music and the Energy album that came out in '84, that band was just solid, TBC, and the Magitones were just like a jazz ensemble, if you will. So it was like two different sounds, but push polkas. But I always enjoyed it, and I knew Frank, so I'd always wanted to play with him. Well, then fast forward to like 1990, 91, when he was getting the last group together.
Yeah.
The New Generation. I had moved out to New Jersey and had just started playing with Mike for a few years, and I got a phone call, and hey, Steve, it's Frank Lischka. Hey, I'm getting TBC back together. You want to play? Wow. And I'm like, Frank, you're about 2 years too late, my friend.
I'm already on the East Coast.
You should have called me when I still lived on, in the Midwest. So I turned him down. So yeah, wow. that was the one band. I'm sure there are others. I mean, I did actually stand on stage one time next to Eddie Sr. when we were out in Chicago, and I played a song standing next to him, and it was probably the most nerve-wracking one or two songs of my life, to be honest with you. And I just thought, don't make a mistake or Mr. Blazonczyk is going to turn and he's going to punch a hole in your chest.
But that had to have been like la creme de la creme of all.
Oh yeah, he
all
was
gigs.
the king.
Oh yeah,
he was the king.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%, sir.
Absolutely.
Do you have a most memorable gig that you played? Maybe it had a large crowd. Maybe it was a small crowd, but the band was really firing on all cylinders.
There's quite a few of those. Trust me.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Share with us one or two or 20.
Well, actually, it's funny because polka jobs are, like I said, there's so many. I mean, Pulaski, you go out there to play Pulaski, Wisconsin, and the crowd is enormous, and they're young people, and they dance all night long, and they stand in front of the bandstand, and they support the bands.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say that that's the one, like, polka job that I can remember, like, most recently that is like that. But, back in the days, it was every job you played. It was Seven Springs. It was Wildwood Polka Spree by the Sea.
Yeah.
It was New London, Connecticut, Polka Motion. All those jobs back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even were always packed with people. So those were always jobs that you looked forward to, and you always brought your A game, or if you didn't, it kicked in pretty quick because the energy of the crowds back then were just enormous,
Oh, yeah.
You definitely fed off of it,
Yeah, you really miss that. Those days were phenomenal. You tell a lot of people that you've just first met, maybe they're new to polkas, about Seven Springs and Wildwood and all of these festivals, Ocean Beach, Ocean City, Maryland, where there were thousands of people, and they look at you because, well, there's maybe 100, 150 at a dance nowadays.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's something that we love to reminisce about, and it's something that nobody can ever take away from us, Steve. That's for sure.
Absolutely. It's in your memories. You got them there,
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this. Who did Steve Hayest idolize while he was growing up?
There were three guys. Me, myself, and I. You know where I'm coming in?
No,
Come on,
no.
You know where I'm coming from.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was talking about your recording.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Bazinga.
That's funny. Bazinga. Hey, but no, really, who did Steve idolize when he was growing up in the polka music world?
Who didn't? I mean, who didn't I? I mean, you look back and, again, Frank Lischka, always looked up to him. Rock solid, guy on horn. Jimmy Shajega with Blazonczyk.
Oh, yeah. He's another
Kevin
one.
Adams.
Yep.
Lenny Gomolka. And of course, my brother-in-law, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said before, that band, that recording was my favorite from the first song that I heard.
Yeah.
And Tell Me Why is like my favorite song off that recording. And it's just, it sounds like a jazz recording as far as horns are concerned. And
Yeah.
then later on in life, when I found out how he recorded it, I was like, oh, it all makes sense now, So those guys are always guys that I've looked up to and still do it, to this day. So,
you have shared the stage with some phenomenal musicians over your career. Jerry and I saw you performing. It almost looked like you were performing with your stunt double on stage. Do you know who I'm talking about?
yeah.
Who?
Mr. Fabulous.
That's
Mr.
right.
Fabulous.
That's right.
Ronnie from Wisconsin. Yes.
It is so funny, looking up there on the stage, and I'm like, did I have too much to drink? And I don't even drink anymore, so that was canceled out. But I'm looking at you guys, and even with ball caps on, you guys are like, no, wait a minute, something's not right here. What happened? And the gig that you played with them, was that the very first gig that you ever played with them? Maybe the only gig? I don't know.
Was USPA.
Yeah.
But where it all started was I had just gotten this idea, like I'm going to, I have the same kind of sunglasses. I had an Under Armour black hat that I wore, put it on backwards, and we showed up at Pulaski Polka Days.
Okay.
And he started laughing when he sees me, because people are like, who is that? Looks like Ron. Well, then the next year, he and his wife went out, and he got me a black Adidas hat, which is the hat that he wears.
Yeah.
And that's when they had made up the T-shirts that we wore at USPA, and mine says I'm with Polish Connection, and he says I'm with the Beat.
Unreal.
So we had the other shirts, but then on the back I had like the Beat web page, and then on his he had Polish Connection web page. But they made those shirts up, so we walked around. So then, like last year, I think it was, I walked into Pulaski when it was a Friday night, and I walked in there with a shirt and a hat on, and his wife comes running from across the fairgrounds, that she's running. She's like, run, run, run. And she gets up to me. She stops about 5 feet away. She's looking at me. She goes, you're not Ron.
You're not Ron.
So we tricked a few people. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh,
But he's a good guy. Good people.
That is hilarious. Totally hilarious. People have made the mistake of me and Alex Yash, that telling us that we look alike too.
Absolutely. I can see it.
When I had hair, I did, and of course when I was like 150 pounds lighter, maybe I was. And now it leads me to the Beat 3.0. Mm-hmm. This has to be a head rush for you, because you're playing with some young kids, and I don't mean to offend these guys because they are hugely talented for their age, but in my eyes, I'm going to be 65 in August. In my eyes, these guys are kids, and they literally, when they step on stage, their professional presence, first of all, is humongous. The sound that they put out is humongous. I mean, Sebastian singing, there's no two ways about that. But with these guys, the creativity, what does it feel like on stage with you and Costa playing for all these years? Now you've got these young guys on stage. What does that feel like, Steve?
Feels like a runaway train. And I think I brought that on myself, because for a while there, Alex would click off and the song's clicking along, and I'm just thinking, don't seem like it's quick enough, So I'd be back there. I'm like, come on, man, pick it up a little bit. Now, once he gets amped up, forget about it. Now I'm like, all right, slow down. Getting a little too fast here. The old guy can't keep up anymore,
Wow.
But no, really, it's just a lot of energy up there.
Yeah, it is.
On stage. And, like I think I even heard Mike say it back when he was talking to you last time. It's like sometimes you just have to step back and think like, man, what's going on up here? We're doing our parts, but man, just the rest of the music on stage is just, unbelievable. And they all played together before, so they all kind of know what they want to do. And,
that
as
helps
we had said before, you play it together long enough, you start to think together, and do things together, which is impressive. And that's what makes it seem so, so easygoing on stage as far as what they're doing. So.
That is for certain. And, every band out there, you have to have a good horn section. But if you have a great horn section and you don't have the rhythm section behind you, and I'm talking all three or all four guys in that rhythm section, because you can have a great drummer, but the bass player is a little bit lacking, or the concertina player doesn't know what the accordion guy's doing, and so on and so forth. You have to have everything working together. That's why I was saying all cylinders firing all at once. That's the way it's supposed to be. And you guys definitely, your stage presence, the sound, the wall of sound that you guys put out on stage. Jerry and I had the fun opportunity of hanging with you guys for New Year's Eve. And you guys put on one heck of a performance, as well as PCM. Everybody's still talking about that. And I understand, drum roll please, you guys are doing it again with a couple of different groups. Can you tell us briefly about what's going to happen for New Year's Eve 2023?
Well, I think you might have got me on this one.
Okay, well, I know the project is... Go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook for a while, so that's why I know when you try to get a hold of me, I think Sam, my daughter, is like, Dad, Robin's trying to get a hold of you.
Yes.
Well, give her my phone number. But I think you're right. I think I'd heard the project with us one evening, and then the next night, I don't want to say because I don't want to make a mistake.
Well, no, that's fine. I know we've got Jill Cerniak here. She's tuned in. She's watching. Mike Polkowski is here. So if one of those guys definitely want to hop on to Facebook and just chime in and say, okay, here's what it is. I've also approached Jeff Yash and Mike Polkowski to get us some information so that we could start hitting that like we did last year. You guys had a fantastic, phenomenal crowd of people both days. Yep. And it was amazing. It really, really was. What can't you say about, having that? And it was funny because Jeff and I were talking originally, and he said, this isn't going to happen again for another 10 years, another decade, where it's going to fall on a weekend. But it's kind of nice because we still have the Friday and Saturday, and then people can go home on Sunday.
Yeah, because I think it's unlike last year where we played New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. I think this year, the way that the weekend falls, I believe we're actually playing the 30th and then the 31st. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Yeah,
but I think that's the way that it is. So it'll be the last year, the last 2 days of the year, 30th rolling into the 31st and the first of the month. So looking forward to it. Should be a good time.
Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jerry and I are going to be out there again this year. We can't wait. We haven't made our reservations yet, but we're going to be doing so real soon. We've been talking about that. Let's see here. What else did I want to ask you? Do you have a favorite song when you're on stage that you like to play or sing, Steve?
Well, as I think I told you once before, when I've always loved the Magitones Face the Music album. That's one of my favorites, bar none. And Jealous Girl was, I think, the song you said you played right before I came on.
It is.
And I've always loved that horn riff on that song, but I don't think we ever had anybody that could sing it. And lo and behold, you get a guy like Seabass who can come in and sing pretty much,
anything.
The Bible and the phone book in one night, in any language, Polish, English, whatever you like. I just said, dude, we've got the guy to sing the song now. Let's play it. Just write it up. And it took 30-some years, but he finally wrote it up, and we got to record it too. So I've always loved that riff on that. And there's many more songs on that recording that we might have tried once or twice, but we've never really carried them on. So maybe I'll have to talk to Mike again and see what we can do about getting.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that too. Hey, listen, it's 6:00. Can I keep you maybe for another 5 or 10 minutes or so? Is that
Whatever
all right?
You like.
I didn't think we were going to blow through this so quickly. But, you're just leading me down different paths, and I want to ask some more questions here.
Absolutely.
But let's see now. Where were we?
We're talking about that favorite song. We've already talked about favorite bands.
Yeah.
What else you like?
Well, let's see here. Did you ever really imagine that your career would have brought you this far in polka music?
No, because again, like I had said, I never really enjoyed polkas. When I was younger, I didn't care. I was like, we don't have phones. We didn't have the internet back then. So it was just like, you're going outside, you're playing with your friends, you're doing whatever. You're going to school, you're playing baseball, you're playing whatever sports. Mm-hmm. And I was into music, but it wasn't polkas. And my parents every weekend would be like, oh, we're going out polka dancing. And I'd be like, yeah, have a good time, have fun. And they'd be going to the Brook State Inn all the time. And I just never wanted to do it. Well, It turns out my mother had sang in the choir at the church where we went when we were younger. Oh. And one of in Christmas and Easter, they would have their big masses, the vigils, and Easter vigil, and then like Christmas Eve. And they would bring in brass and they'd bring in horns. Well, one of the horn players that they had play was one of Eddie Petoniatz's first trumpet players.
No.
So they had then got me to play the mass with Mike McGreen. He was the gentleman who was playing with Ed. So that's pretty much how it got started. So when he knew, hey, this kid can play, then my mother said, well, why don't you go to a rehearsal? They need a trumpet player. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. And I went and, played the first gig and made a whole $60. I'm like, hey, this is pretty easy. I can do this,
Wow.
So, yeah. And then from there, I just, I met the guys from TPM when they were coming through, ironically, at at the Brook State Inn, and played with TPM for a few years, and then went out east, and it's all been a fun ride since.
Gotcha. Now, I ask this question all the time, and I give you the option. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. But do you have a day job? And if so, what do you do for a living, Steve?
Oh, yeah. Well, again, I didn't go into teaching.
And you don't have to mention you don't have to mention the name of the business if you don't want to. That's fine.
I mean, it's a big company. I first started working for them back in 1989 when I'd gotten out there and needed to get a job was Sherwin-Williams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I worked there for a few years, and then ironically, we were at Donnie Tomko's wedding. Probably after about 6 years, I was with Sherwin-Williams. Bobby hadn't been in the band, and we went to Donnie's wedding, and we're having a couple drinks, and Bobby starts asking, "Hey, where do you work? What do you do?" So I start telling him, and he goes, "How do you like it?" I says, "I really don't. I'd like to try and get something else." And he goes, "Well, here, give me a call on Monday." So I gave him a call the next Monday, and within 2 weeks, I was working for Bobby Shemansky at Merrill Lynch, and I was there for about 7 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So, and then from there, hey, the beat got together again. So maybe we can blame that one on Bobby Shemansky. He had to start playing, so we got the band back together. It's like the Blues Brothers.
Hey,
gotta get the band back together.
The latest recording that you're on is The Greatest Hits and the Misses. Do
Yes.
you guys have something in the works right now? And I understand if you can't talk about it, but do you have something that Mr. Costa is thinking about in the not too distant future to come down the pike and boom, you guys are releasing something else here soon?
We would probably have to talk to the band manager about that one. It would depend upon the misses and if the funds are there. But Mike, he could probably sit down and write 6 new songs in an afternoon.
Yeah.
So I mean, at this point, he hasn't said anything to me, but you know what? I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, I really hate him. No, I love Mike. I'm sorry, I didn't I didn't know the microphone was on. No, I really love Mike Costa. I do. No, talk about the creativity. He's an animal. He's a monster. And I'm just looking through some different things here because I bounce back and forth from Facebook to YouTube. And Veronica Costa earlier had noted that Steve is correct about the name of the band. So Mr. Donnie Tomko gets the credit for that.
See, I paid attention in class.
You see?
I paid attention in class. See that?
And that always helps. It really, really does. Can't believe it. Okay. A couple more things that I want to ask you real quick. And that is,
Absolutely.
You've probably heard a lot of these interviews that we've done. I like to ask 2 more questions here before we're done. And the first one is, do you have a favorite breakdown story that you can share with us? Maybe you were going to a job, you were coming back from a job.
Oh, boy.
You
mean like broken down on the road?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Do you have any? Maybe you haven't.
I know I have one. It's actually quite incredible. It wasn't a breakdown story, but it could have been.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Limelight was together, and we were on our way to a job. I don't remember if we played the night before or not, but it was, I believe 6 of us were there, if I'm not mistaken. Mike, me, Bobby Shemansky, Donnie Tomko. I believe it was Eddie, or it might have been Tommy Evans on bass. And again, I don't recall if Mark Pishko was there, but we were driving to a job in Pennsylvania, and it's about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And the weather's clear, but it was cold that time of the year. I think it was probably early in the beginning of the year, so there might have still been some frost and some snow. And we're coming off the exit. And as we're coming off the exit, Mike's driving. He doesn't realize how sharp the exit is and how quick it's turning off. And as he starts to turn into, to make the turn, the van starts sliding sideways.
Oh.
And there's no guardrail. And within a split second, all I remember hearing Mike say is, "Hold on, we're going over." And he turned the wheel into the slide, straightened it out, and we went down the hill through the median and came up on the other side on the entrance ramp on the other side.
You gotta be kidding me.
And had he not done that in that instant, that van would have rolled. And there was no trailer. It was just the van itself.
Yeah.
And all the equipment was behind a wall. So had that thing
Yeah.
rolled, we would have probably, that wall would have come down. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been pretty. So that would probably be my most memorable, could have been a breakdown type
Yeah.
story. But thank God that the good Lord above was watching over, and Mike passed his driving classes and got us on the other side of the road safely.
Yeah, here. You know, that's the good Lord has seen a lot of us back and forth, many a jobs over
Yes.
several decades, and we owe him a gratitude of thanks. Hey, also, let me finalize with this question. What would Steve Hayest say to someone that wants to get started into music? Now, they might want to be a musician, they might want to be a vocalist, could be a him or a her, he or she, whichever. What advice would Steve give that person, sitting them down and saying, okay, here's what you want to do?
Practice. So one word, just practice. Because if you love it that much and you want to do anything, you want to sing, you want to play drums, you want to play, the flute, you want to play whatever instrument it is, whatever genre, you could pretty much do whatever you want, in any genre of music with an instrument.
Yeah.
And as long as you just practice, that's the main thing. Find the time, just do it. It could be a half an hour a day. It doesn't have to be long, but if you're doing it every single day and you just continue to work that instrument, you become one with it. And, at that point, you can't help but love doing it.
It's practice and the consistency, it sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah,
Here.
absolutely.
Hey, Steve, I can't thank you enough. I love you, buddy. You know that. More continued success as time goes on. You and the family, everybody has done great in the band, and we can't wait until the next recording comes out by Michael Costa and the Beat 3.0. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we've got a song right now that we are going to queue up, or we already have it queued up. Here's one called If Wishes Come True.
If I could make wishes come true, darling, I'd wish to spend my life with you. We travel the world far away, happy together each night and day. These dreams are a part of my life. Someday I might make you my wife. But if only you knew my name, then you might know me and feel the same. If I could make wishes come true, a garden of roses, 1,000 for you. I'd build you a home by the sea, sail the ocean, just you and me. We'd live our lives happy as one, have children, a daughter, a son. But these dreams remain part of my life. How I wish I could make you my wife.
Oh, yeah, what can you say? Hey, that's Michael Costa's Beat, the 3.0 version, as we all joke around about, but what a great band he has had throughout the course of his career. Mike Costa, I'm talking about. Version 1, 2, and 3, and we just got off the phone with Stephen Gerard, which is none other than Steve Hayest, the trumpet player, who stands right beside Mr. Costa and has for, like he said, decades. It's been a lot of fun. 33 years. Wow, what can you say? And they do have an awesome horn section as well as an awesome band. Hey, you know who else has an awesome band? These guys. Here's Dennis Polisky's Maestro's Men. Good afternoon and welcome once again to Polkas After Dark. Good afternoon to Gil Wojtowicz, Linda Petrozeski, Jill Cerniak once again, Diane Sims-Ceremit. It looks like Don Zastafina Ramanzo has joined us this afternoon. Also, Mr. Nick Nido and his lovely bride, Valerie. Mr. Tom Kowalski, welcome to you, sir, and also Dan Strzelecki. They also say hi to Steve Gramala down in Dunkirk.
My heart starts beating blue just when it's on the mend. There goes my heart again. I tried to talk it out of loving you, but my heart has a mind of its own. It won't forget you like I told it to. I wish it would leave you alone. There goes my heart again. By now to let you go. With just one look from you, my heart starts beating blue. Just when it's on the mend, there goes my heart again.
Hey, let's bring up the sound of the New Direction Band. We're going to be telling you all about some upcoming events coming up for Dingus Day, which comes up on April the 10th this year. And a big hello to Jan Dressler in our chat room over there at Facebook. Good evening, young lady.
A week, playing happy songs for dancing feet. But polka time now never stops, so you can dance around the clock. Play polkas on your home PC and on YouTube. connectivity. It's polka time somewhere, anytime, anywhere. It's polka time somewhere, all day long, everywhere. All day long you tap your feet to the internet or your 4G. 24/7 polka heaven and polka jammer are the sights for me. When you go out to a dance, you listen live to the polka bands. Couples dance the night away, and when it's done, here's what they say. It's polka time somewhere, anytime, anywhere. It's polka time somewhere, all day long, everywhere. It's polka time somewhere, anytime, anywhere. It's polka time somewhere, all day long, everywhere.
Holy Toledo! For over 30 years, this has been the polka destination for fun. And Holy Toledo 2023 Polka Days promises to be a festival to remember. April 13th through the 16th at a brand new location at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Perrysburg, Ohio. Get ready to dance all night to the top polka bands in the industry, led by your host band, the Dyna Brass. Plus, Eddie Biegai and Crusade, Tony Blazonczyk's New Phase, the Polka Country Musicians, Polka Mojo, Michael Costa, and The Beat, the Holy Toledo Jam Band, and yours truly, Kenny Olowin, with a couple of hot American polka parties. Check out the schedule at HolyToledoPolkaDays.com and make your reservations now. You certainly don't want to miss the very first major polka festival of the year, a polka festival to remember. Holy Toledo Polka Days, April 13th through the 16th. We'll see you there.
And here's the band that'll be performing there, of course, the host band, the Dyna Brass.
I've been through a few romances, and I've had a few heartbreaks. When you're looking for one in a million, girl, guess that's a chance to take. Still gotta go through the motions, even though you might get hurt. So I set my sights every Saturday night with my love in full alert. For a girl like you, there ain't nothing that a good old boy like me won't do. For a heart so true, and eyes so blue, I've been searching like an old bloodhound all around for a girl like you. A lot of small-town boys can't wait to leave home for bigger and better things. But all I ever wanted was a girl like you, a picket fence and an old porch swing. And tonight beneath that neon
an old bloodhound all around for a girl like you. His daddy too. I grew up next door to a girl like you, and all I ever wanted was to share my life with a girl like you. Girl like you. There ain't nothing that a good old boy like me won't do. For a heart so true, and eyes so blue. I've been searching like an old bloodhound all around for a girl like you. I've been searching like an old bloodhound with my nose to the ground all around up and down this town for a girl like you.
Here's the big man himself, Eddie B. Eddie Blazonczak and the Versatile Versatones. Gonna send this one out to Brother Tom Hook down in Uniontown, PA. Here's one called Hey Pretty Girl.
Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? Can't you see how happy I would be? One time around the clock, then maybe we'll dance once more. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? One time around the floor, then maybe we'll dance once more. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? I've been standing here the whole night through. I just can't take my eyes off of you. Please don't let me stand, let me take you by the hand. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? Please don't let me stand, let me take you by the hand. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me?
Hey, howdy to Lisa and Greg Skovronik.
Hey pretty girl, please don't make me wait. Let's start dancing before it gets too late. The band is playing our favorite song. Come on, sweetheart, dance along. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? The band is playing our favorite song. Come on, sweetheart, dance along. Hey pretty girl, won't you dance with me? Now we're swaying to this happy beat. I'm with my pretty gal, she is very sweet. Singing, dancing, soon we'll be romancing. Hey pretty girl, won't you marry me? Singing, dancing, soon we'll be romancing. Hey pretty girl, won't you marry me? Hey, pretty girl.
Hey, how about a little bit of Joe Valega and the Happy Hearts? Here's one called My Gal Polka.
Moja dziewczyno, tak się całować, bo
ja jestem chłopak ładny, można mnie kochać. Bo ja jestem chłopak ładny, można mnie kochać. Płakał nie będę, przyjdzie inna i ładniejsza, kochać ja będę. Przyjdzie inna i ładniejsza, kochać ja będę. Nie można płakać. Moja miła, powiesz mi, czy będziesz czekać. Moja miła, powiesz mi, czy będziesz czekać.
Wow, what the heck happened there? How about a little bit of PCM polka country musicians on a Polkas After Dark, the Sunday afternoon edition. We had a great time talking with Steve and Gerard, Steve Hayest from the Beat 3.0.
If you leave me, I won't miss you, and I won't ever take you back. Girl, your memory won't ever haunt me, 'cause I don't love you, down with you by that. I've got some ocean property in Arizona. From my front porch you can see the sea. I've got some ocean property in Arizona. You buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. I don't worship ground you walk on, never have, and that's a fact. I won't follow or try to find you, 'cause I don't love you, now if you buy that. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch you can see the sea. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. You buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch you can see the sea. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. You buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. I said if you buy that, I'll throw the Golden
the sound of PCM, the Polka Country Musicians. We saw on Facebook that they are in the studio. They're going to be finishing up a recording. We can't wait till that comes out because that's going to be a newbie for them. Hey, also speaking of decent songs here, we want to play another tune by Mr. Lenny Gomulka and Chicago Push. You guys remember that yesterday we had made a couple of announcements. We had a little tribute, if you will, to Mr. Lenny Kopka, the bass player for Lenny Gomulka Chicago Push. Gosh, he also played with so many bands throughout his career. The Good Times, Stashka Lanka, and the Chicago Masters. Boy, just too many to mention. D Street, which we played a song a little bit earlier. Here's one that we played yesterday, which was a fantastic tune by Lenny Gomulka, Chicago Push. Here's one called Don't Get Married. Hey, we're going to send this one out to Sam and also to Nick, also to Bob Saharsky. Hey, for Chris Dansky and the gang with the Buffalo Polka Boosters. They're big TBC fans. Here's one called 9 Hour Drive Polka. Hey guys, we're going to be back again next week, Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't you dare forget that. And then we'll be back again Sunday afternoon with a new interview as we get to talk with a lovely lady by the name of Dawn Rogers. Hey, how about a little bit of Ray J and the Carousels, a little bit of a Lush medley.
Już ja więcej tu Chicago spacerował nie będę. Miłowały piękne panny, miłowały piękne panny, a teraz już nie będę. Miłowały piękne panny, miłowały piękne panny, a teraz już nie będę. piękny kwiateczek, dziewczę, dla ciebie, pod sercem bardzo kocham cię. Wszyscy panny cieszą się, wszyscy panny tam pod jaworem ciemnym, zielonym cieszą się. Wszyscy panny tam pod jaworem ciemnym, zielonym cieszą się. Gdzież wy panny idziecie, gdzież wy panny tam pod jaworem ciemnym, zielonym idziecie. Gdzież wy panny tam pod jaworem ciemnym, zielonym idziecie. Takie czasy już nastały, że się bawi pociekały. Oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, że się bawi pociekały. Oj dana, oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, że się bawi pociekały. Oj dana.
Słoneczko na zachodzie, ma miła, odprowadź mnie pod las, ja ciebie jeszcze raz i tam się rozejdziemy. Odprowadź mnie pod las, ja ciebie jeszcze raz i tam się rozejdziemy. I jak się rozchodzili, oj to się popłakali. I tak do jednego fartuszka białego te łezki wylewali. I tak do jednego fartuszka białego te łezki wylewali. Słoneczko na zachodzie przegląda się we wodzie. Nad wodą grobu krzyż, ramiona z wiosny zysz, nad żołnierza mogiła. Nad wodą grobu krzyż, ramiona z wiosny ryż, nad żołnierza mogiła.
yeah, another guy that we sorely miss, and that is Freddie Belinsky from the Brass Works. Hey, let's go ahead and get a song up here by Vinny and the New Sounds. Here's one called The Polka Twist. Hey, hello, good afternoon to Mr. Mark Komar. I see that he jumped in here, and sorry that I missed you, Mark. But welcome once again to Polkas After Dark. Can't wait to see you for Dingus Day.
Polka twist, muzykańcy grają. Polka twist, wszyscy tak śpiewają. Polka twist, nawet moja stara tańcuje i śpiewa taka bardzo żwawo. Każdy tańcuje, tak młody jak stary, hej, dobrze się czuje. Polka twist, jeszcze raz zagrajcie. Polka twist, wszyscy zaśpiewajcie. Hej, mocy, grajcie, a do pieniądze władajcie. Polka twist, muzykańcy grają. Polka twist, wszyscy tak śpiewają. Polka twist, nawet moja stara tańcuje i śpiewa taka bardzo żwawo.
Hey, first you heard from Vinny and the New Sounds. Now you're going to hear from Jimmy Weber and the Sounds. Here's one called Open Up Your Heart Polka off of the album titled the same. Well, it wasn't actually titled the same. It was called Open Up Your Heart and Let the Sounds Come In. How you doing there, Mr. Evan Bozzarelli? Say hello to you and also to Dad Vinny.
Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my life begin. The sun's gonna shine, there'll be blue skies again. If you open up your heart and let my love come in. I know you've been hurt by an old love affair, but darling, don't blame me, I wasn't even there. Your long, lonely nights I will bring to an end. If you open up your heart, let my love come in. Won't you open up your heart, let my love come in. Open up your heart, let my life begin. The sun's gonna shine, there'll be blue skies again. If you open up your heart, let my love come in. Someone before me has treated you like dirt. Someone before me has made your heart hurt. Your long and lonely nights I will bring
Hey, how about one for the sisters Sims? Hey, we're going to send this one out to Bev, Diane, and also Debbie, wherever you are. Here's Larry Trojak on the vocal a little bit, or Red Shoes, Czerwone buciki.
Czerwone buciki, czerwone kupiła, czerwone bucikach będzie tańcowała. Czerwone buciki, czerwone guziki, tak sobie tańcują nawet bez muzyki. Czerwone buciki, czerwone guziki, tak sobie tańcują nawet bez muzyki. Zagraj mi muzyczko, jak chcesz tak mi grała. Czerwone bucika, będę tańcowała, całą noc całą. Czerwone bucika, nóżki mnie nie bolą. Będę tańcowała, całą noc całą. Czerwone bucika, nóżki mnie nie bolą.
Hey, good evening to Mr. Fabulous. Ron is in the house.
Czerwone buciki, zluczy sobie zdjęła. Będzie szła do domu, by je nie traciła. Czerwone buciki, to się lisowała. By je na tanec na drugi raz miała. Czerwone buciki, to się lisowała. By je na tanec na drugi raz miała.
Folks, as we always say, if you've been listening in your car, thanks for the ride. You're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We'll see you again next week, Saturday. Don't be late, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
like you, like you.
To hug and hold forever, make my dreams come true. I'm looking for a sweetheart to love with you.